Yo, what's up ladies and gentlemen? Today's video is an absolute banger because we are going through the hidden details in version 2.3 and possibly Septimont. Now we know that Kuro has been cooking when it comes to rinascita and it's time to spill the ingredients. With that being said, Kuro has dropped the drip for 2 new 5 stars coming in version 2.3 and the Wuthering Waves anniversary is already looking pretty insane. So let's go through all the hidden details because I can guarantee we've got something that you've missed. Enjoy the video. Alrighty, so here on the timeline I have the drip marketing that has been released for all the characters. And what we are going to do is go through each one and then we will talk about the hidden details that are within them. We'll start with Ciaccona first and then we'll go to Zani. I think Ciaccona has the more interesting details and a bit of foreshadowing as well. Alrighty, so first off we have music notes that are everywhere on Ciaccona's drip marketing. I have no idea what the music symbols mean, so I can't tell you if there is a hidden message or tune or melody behind this. Perhaps it's relating to Ciaccona's theme or a song that Ciaccona is going to play. But yeah, there are more interesting things in my opinion to talk about, and the first thing is going to be the birds. So we have white birds here and then we have cerulean birds over here. The white birds look like doves. There's plenty of them. They're a bit bigger than the cerulean birds and yeah, their wings are also a little bit different. But the birds that hold more meaning are the cerulean birds that somewhat depict a kingfisher bird. And being a kingfisher bird, this proves that Homer's Iliad and Odyssey has been used as inspiration for rinascita. So just to show you guys, Helios was the divine keeper of the winds and he was the king of the mythical floating island of Aeolia. Now in Wuthering Waves, we do have something that is like this, and this is the Avenolium Theology Seminary that sealed obviously the horse divinity or the Sentinel Imperator. At least that is what we understand with version 2.2's knowledge. I did make a video on this, so if you really want to know what's happening, you should check out this video. So if we scroll down and look at what is known about Aeolus, we can see that his sacred animal is a kingfisher. And if we have a look what a kingfisher bird is, it is a cerulean or blue bird. If we go and have a look at Ciaccona's drip marketing, the depiction of the birds is that of a kingfisher or a cerulean bird. And when we have a look at Phoebe's staff, we see a bird on top of it as well. And since Phoebe released in version 2.1 with the wave sing and cerulean bird calls, we assume that the staff here has a cerulean bird on top of it and therefore a kingfisher bird. And the talk around the doves is also quite interesting for different reasons. During the roadmap teaser trailer that Kuro released called After the Overture, the scene that has Ciaccona in it also has feathers falling down. Now these white feathers could be from the doves, but the original thought was that the feathers belong to the seraphim. And this is because the people that are rounded up in Rover's very first vision in Rinascita, you know, when the Wuthering dancer attacked, they are the same white feathers around them as well. Alright, this next detail is my favorite detail so far, and that is to do with these columns over here. So this one here and this one here. The name given to this type of column is called ionic order, and one of the features of an ionic order is the scroll pattern here and the scroll pattern here. Now if we go and look at ancient Greek and ancient Roman architecture, we'll see that the ionic, which is the scrolls, is part of the Greek architecture, not the Roman architecture. The Greeks mainly used Doric and then Ionic in later times, and the Romans took this and innovated it to create the Corinthian. And this has quite a nice pattern to it. Now if you go anywhere in the current Ragusa and Rinascita in version 2.2, and just for reference sake, I am at Silver Moon Grove, you will see that the columns have the Corinthian style. And Corinthian is a Roman style. And just to prove that Kuro did take notes of this, here in the Nimbus Sanctum we again have the Corinthian style. And so to align with the Roman theme or Italian theme, we have Venetian style buildings here in Ragusa. And one of the major differences between Greek architecture and Roman architecture is that the Greeks used stone masonry and limestone, whereas the Romans had more brick and concrete. So the question now is, why do we have Greek Ionic columns when what we've seen so far in Ragusa and Rinascita is Roman? And the answer to that is here in the Boer waters. If you TP to the Echo Flight Challenge and face southeast, so over there, you'll see a building in the distance. Now this isn't fully rendered, obviously. This is a teaser for an area that is set to come, and this is most likely going to be Septimont. Now if we look at the architecture, we see flat rooftops, and we don't really see brick face or cement. Instead, we see stone masonry and trademarks of Greek architecture. There are a few NPCs and quest items that have mentioned Septimont and a bit of lore around them. So going back to Ciaccona's drop marketing, we have Greek architecture and Greek poetry with the Cyrilline bird and Aelios that is being referenced in a country with Roman architecture. So this may be a bit of foreshadowing that Septimont is inspired from Greek architecture, but the only question is, why do we have a Latin or Roman name being Septimont used for something that is inspired by Greek architecture? And the last thing to note about Ciaccona is her instrument. This looks like a hurdy-gurdy from the Renaissance era. It was quite a popular instrument back then. Then her second clone has what looks like cymbals that you just clap together, and her third clone has a microphone that is on her drip marketing. So yeah, here we can see the microphone that also looks like a rifle of some sorts. She also has a fleur-de-lis, but we've already seen that. There's another fleur-de-lis on this piece of clothing and on that side, but usually these character arts don't have the finer details like text rendered in. A small little detail to note that's also in Zani's drip, we have waves over here that go from big to small on this side, and the waves are also going in two different directions, which means they are symmetrical along the vertical axis. Now in rinascita, we do have this wave pattern, but it's not symmetrical, it is rotational. It doesn't split like this has. Alrighty, now we have Zani, and Zani is quite the interesting one. We do still see Zani with her shield, again a reference to Achilles. Achilles is the most famed warrior in all of Greek mythology, and to become this immortal warrior, Achilles was dipped into the underworld, and that also explains why Zani has this underworld look. Then if we zoom into the background over here, we can see what looks like a vault with some wings around it. The style that Kuro have gone with for this background is a 3D split. So they took the R in the RGB, so the red light, and they just shifted it to the right. And then they took the green, which is quite interesting. Usually it's blue, and they shifted it to the left, and that gives it this nice 3D-ish look. I think they went with the green because it's closer to yellow, and Zani is obviously Spectro and has like all those yellow accents. So I think that is the reason why. You can also see that 3D effect over here. There's the green, there's the red. And then we have what looks like Zani's forte form. And the reason I say that is because over here you can see her tacit mark, and it is glowing. Now she also has scars that are glowing, and I believe in one of her drip marketing posts it says that energy surges in her old scars. So yeah, this battle worn look is again a reference to Achilles. And then we can see her tie around her forearm, which is pretty dope. She probably has some cutscene where she takes it off her neck and then puts it around her arm. And then we have her weapon. So here we see the handle of the shield on the side, or the face of the shield, the back face of the shield. And here we have a handle that is sticking out, or extending out from this big chunk over here, which if you look at all the little details that are showing, is this shield here, just with new parts that we haven't seen before. So yeah, Zani in this forte form probably transforms the shield as well into this big greatsword. Now when Wuthering Waves released, Kuro was known for their spelling errors. And in this one, there is a spelling error with Zani's name. Now if you're looking here, you won't see it, but hidden over here and over here in the top left and top right is the Rinascitan orthography or Rinascitan transcript. And if we decode this, it says Z-A-N-N-I. It's spelled Zani, but with two N's, not one N. And this is consistent throughout all of this. Here is an N, here is an N, here is an I. A Z, an A, and then N, N, I, you know, stretching out like that. On this side as well. This is an N that is cut off. This is an N. This is an I. This is a Z, A, N, N. You can faintly see it. I don't know if YouTube will show it with the bit rates. So yeah, Kuro spelled Zani Z-A-N-N-I in her splash art. That is all for this video. Let me know your thoughts down below and I will see you in the next video.